Morning. Let's quickly look at that first example you asked about. It was negative 6, a to the power of 3, b to the power of 10c divided by 12, a to the power of 8, b to the power of 4, and c. Now, let's quickly have a look. Remember, when we divide with our powers, we subtract them, and if we multiply, we add them. So quickly, let's start here. Okay, negative 6 and negative 12, these are the two integers. They are going to be divided by the biggest common factor between them, which is negative 6. So negative 6 divided by negative 6 is going to give me 1. And 12 divided by negative 6 is going to be negative 2. Now let's move on to our first variable. A is raised to the power of 3 at the top and 8 at the bottom. So the biggest one is where we're going to start. We're going to write the A there, nothing at the top because this is the biggest. And I'm going to say 8 minus 3, which leaves me with 5. Now I'm looking at B. B, the highest power here, is at the top with b raised to 4, and here b is raised to the power of 10, b to be raised to the power of 4. So here I'm just going to, oh my goodness, no, sorry. Let me just erase that quickly. If I can get so far, let's see. Okay, so here, b at the top is the biggest. I'm going to say 10 minus 4, which is now 6. And you will see that our c's have the same power. I'm just going to cancel them out. So now I am left with 1 half b to the power of 6, a to the power of 5, and I can rewrite that as negative, and I'm going to take away that 1, because 1 times b6 to the power of 6 is going to be b to the power of 6, and it's going to be over, goodness, it's going to be over, over 2a to the power of 5. That's the first one done. So let's just recap. Look at our integers. We found the greatest common factor. I divided by negative 6, got 1. I divided by negative 6, negative 2. The biggest exponent is at the of our variable a is at the bottom, and it's 8. So I write at the bottom the a, and then I say 8 minus 3, and I'm left with 5. And here it's b, which is the biggest. I'm going to say 10 minus 4, and it's going to be 6. So whenever I have a sum like this, I look at my variables and I look which has the biggest exponent, which is raised to the biggest power. And then I leave that variable in that place and I just do my subtraction. So here I just have to rewrite it, and when I multiply out with a 1, anything multiplied by 1 stays the same. So it's negative. I took the negative out. I'm left with b to the power of 6 to a to the power of 5. Okay, let's look at the next example. Right, which was, we start off with a bracket. 3x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3, close my bracket, and this whole is raised to the power of 2. Then, at the bottom, I say 3xy, close my bracket, open a new bracket, 3xy, and this whole bracket, I'm sorry, only the y inside my bracket has been raised to the power of 7. Okay, when I have an expression that is raised to a power, everything inside that expression also needs to be raised to that power. So let's start there. So it's going to be 3 to the power of 2. X to the power of, whenever I raise and power with a power, it is going to be multiplied. So it's going to be x to the power of 4. Then it's going to be y to the power of 3 times 2 is going to be, let's do it in another color, is going to be 6. So when I raise a power to a power, it's multiplied. All right, now let's divide that. Let's do the bottom one. First, let's multiply these. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y times y to the power of 7 is going to be y to the power of 8. Remember, when I multiply two bases that's the same, I add the exponents. 1 plus 1 is 2, and that 1 plus that 7 is going to be 8. Now I can go on. Let's look at the greatest common factor. 3 to the power of 3 is 9. So 9 divided by 9 is going to be 1. I'm not going to write that. Or we can say 1 and 1, because they will cancel each other out. Which is the biggest here? Which? It's the top one. X to the power of 4 is the biggest. So I say 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. The y at the bottom is the biggest, so I leave it there. And then I say 8 minus 6 is 2. And there's my answer. X squared over y squared. Now let's look at the last one you asked me about. Goodness. Here we go. It was the whole expression is in brackets, and this whole thing is raised to the power of 2. So let's start here. 3a to the power of 3 times 2a to the power of 5 divided by 12 a to the power of 10 times b. So let's quickly see if there's anything inside the brackets that we can simplify. Alright, 3 can go into itself once, 3 can go into 12 4 times. So let's start with that. So I've got one at the top or at the bottom. Let's look at the a's. I still have a to the power of 3 times 2, a to the power of 5, a to the power of 10, b. So what I can do now, is because they can all multiply this out, I will say 1 times 2 is 2. A to the power of 3 times a to the power of 5 is going to be a to the power of 8, because I add the exponents together when I multiply them with the same basis. Then I have a 4, and I have a to the power of 10b. This is all still raised to the power of 2. And to go on this side, 2 divided by itself is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so it's a half. Here we go. So I'm going to write a to the power of 8 over, oh, I should have simplified quicker. Alright, hang on. I'm going to quickly erase this. Let's go back here. Which is the biggest? This. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1 over 4, a to the power of 4 minus 10, and my goodness, oh my goodness, I'm losing it, equals, it is a half. 10 is the biggest one, so I'm going to, a is going to be the bottom. 10 minus 8 is 2, and there's nothing with b. This whole expression now needs to be squared, so a half squared is going to be a quarter. A squared is going to be, remember it's a times 2 times 2, because it's a power. Raised to a power is going to be 4. B to the power of 2, because 1 raised to the power of 2 is going to be 2. So I am left with a quarter. Oh, yeah. Man, I can't write anything today. I'm going to be left with 1 over 4a A for B2.